Hello everyone, welcome to AK Academy. My name is Sudeep Saha and today we'll study about the one-dimensional potential well. Okay, so one-dimensional potential well means that you have an infinite potential. So one-dimensional potential means you have an infinite potential. Let's say this is the x direction and this is from 0 to let's say L, and this is our potential V of x and it is infinite. Okay. Now the problem is a particle is confined within this potential. The 0 to L there is no potential, and less than 0 and greater than L there is an infinite potential. So mathematically, how to define this kind of potential? So mathematically we can define is as V of x is 0 for 0 less than x less than L and infinite otherwise. Okay, so this is the potential we want to solve. Okay, okay, so let's write down the potential here. V of x is 0 for 0 less than x less than L and infinite otherwise. Okay. Now the Schrodinger equation for this potential is for a time independent Schrodinger equation. Let's write it down. H bar squared over 2L d2 psi dx2 plus V of x psi of x is E psi of x. Now for 0 to L this potential is 0. Okay, so this will become minus h bar squared over 2m d2 psi dx2 equal to E psi. Okay, let's simplify this expression a bit. So let's write d2 psi dx2 plus 2m e over h bar squared psi equal to 0, and in terms we write d2 psi dx2 plus k squared psi equal to 0, where this k squared is 2m e divided by h bar squared. Okay, so this is a very standard differential equation, or a second order differential equation. Okay, now solution to this kind of equation is in terms of cos x and sin x. Okay, so we'll take both the solution, a linear combination of cos x and sin x. You can easily prove this. So let's take the solution of this equation. Psi x is a cos x plus b sin x. You can easily prove that. Take this solution cos x and differentiate with 2 times. Okay, and just put it there. Okay, you will see. Okay, this is cos kx and sin kx. Okay, so if you put it there, if you differentiate it this 2 times, if you put it there, you will see this will satisfy this equation. Similarly for the sin kx. Okay, Okay, so we have this equation here. Now let's talk about the boundary condition of this equation. Okay, so as we have seen, this is our potential. Okay, this is infinity. Okay, so we have seen that if our wave function, if the potential is infinite, then we know that our wave function should vanish at these 2 points, right? So the boundary condition, the boundary condition on the wave function is psi at 0 equal to 0 and psi at L is also 0. Okay, this is our boundary condition on this wave function, because the potential is infinite, so the wave function cannot exist outside this potential. As we have seen that there was a theorem in the previous class, I have told you, there was a theorem that says that psi and del psi del x is continuous as long as the potential is finite. Okay, so the potential is infinite here, so the psi cannot exist outside this potential. Okay, so this is our boundary condition. So let's put this boundary condition psi equal to 0. So if you put psi equal to 0, so psi equal to 0, so this is our wave function, and psi equal to 0, if you put in that wave function, then what we will get? We will get sin 0 equal to 0 and cos 0 equal to 1. So the first boundary condition will give us a equal to 0. Okay, so the first boundary condition gives us a equal to 0. So our wave function reduces to b sin kx. Okay, now this is our new wave function, the reduced wave function b sin kx. Now our next boundary condition says psi at L is also 0. So our next, if we put that, so it will, the second boundary condition says b sin kl equal to 0. Now this can lead to two kind of solutions, either b equal to 0. Okay, this means the trivial solution, the wave function vanishes everywhere. Okay, otherwise we can say sin kl equal to 0 or kl equal to n pi, or this gives us a solution k equal to n pi over L. Okay, so for this k values, this boundary condition is satisfies. Now what is the implication of this equation? This means that we can find our energies from this. Okay, now we have assumed that k square equal to 2m over a square. Now let's put this k value over here. So what we will get? We'll get n squared pi squared over L squared equal to 2m e over h bar squared. Okay, we don't need this. Okay, so this gives us the energy of the particle is n squared pi squared h bar squared over 2m L squared. So this is our energy of the particle confined within the infinite potential box. Okay, so we have found the value of k, but we haven't found the value of this b squared. So how can we find that? It's easy. We'll make use of the normalization condition. Okay, so the normalization condition says, that 0 to L psi star x psi of x should be equal to 1. So this is our normalization condition. Okay, let's solve it. So if we put this equation in this, we'll get v square 0 to L sine squared KL Kx equal to 1. Okay, now if we solve this equation, we'll get, now from this equation we can easily find out that it's a easy integration. I will do that. It says b equal to 2 over L. Okay, so the final wave function, the final form of the wave function is, so our final form of the wave function is psi of x is equal to root over 2 over L sine kx. So this is our wave function. So this is the wave function and that is our energy. So we have found the wave function and the energy of this infinite potential well. Okay. Okay, so as I have proved earlier that the solutions of Schrodinger equation, the wave functions, they are orthogonal to each other. Okay, we can also see it from here. What it means that this is psi n, let's say this is psi n for the nth wave function. Psi n is the nth wave function, k is different. Okay, because the k is this, the k is n by over L. So k depends on L, so for n equal to 1, that will be psi 1 and so on. So the Schrodinger equations are orthogonal, which means that these wave functions are also orthogonal. So 0 to L psi n star psi m dx would be 0. Okay, you can easily prove that from that equation. Just substitute that thing over here and we will get this equation satisfied. Okay, okay, so this is our orthogonal condition. Now I'll quote some facts about this infinite potential well. Is that the energy of the wave function, cannot be negative. Okay, I mean there is a theorem actually. It says that the energy of a system cannot be lower than the minimum value of the potential. I mean, you can think of this theorem, that why it is not possible actually. Just think in terms of Schrodinger equation. I'll answer this question in the next time. Just give it a thought, that why what will happen if the energy eigenvalue is less than the minimum value of the potential. Just give this idea some thought. I'll answer this question in the next class. Okay, why it is not possible. Okay, so the next thing is, so let's write down this result. N squared pi squared h bar squared over 2ml squared, and the wave function is psi x is root over 2 by L sine n pi over n x. So this is our wave function and this is the corresponding energy. Let's wipe it. We don't need this portion. Okay. So the next thing we'll say that so this is our orthonormality condition. This is our orthogonal. Okay. So the next thing I want to say that these wave functions form a complete basis. Okay. Basis means you have heard of the ijk, the Cartesian coordinate, the unit vector along x-axis, unit vector along y-axis and the z-axis. They form a basis, which means that you can represent any vector in terms of these basis vectors. Okay, as we know that any vector can be represented in terms of ij and k. So ij and k forms a complete basis for 3 dimension. Okay. Similarly, this wave function psi x of infinite potential well forms a complete basis. What it means mathematically, it means that we can represent any arbitrary wave function. Let's say it's capital psi of x can be represented as a linear combination of this wave function. Okay, this is psi n. This is psi n can be represented as a linear combination of this wave function. Okay. These are just the coefficient of psi n. Okay, how we can find out these coefficients is easy. We'll make use of the orthonormality condition. What it means is that we'll multiply both sides by psi star n x psi capital X integration 0 to L, and we'll integrate this out dx 0 to L dx cn psi n star x. Okay, let's call it m. Psi n x. Okay, now this will give us this is n cn. This will give us, unless m equal to n, this thing will be 0, so we can represent this 0 to integration dx and this wave function as delta mn. This is the Kronecker delta function. When m equal to n, this thing is 1. When m is not equal to n, this thing is 0. So this will give us cn. So we have we can see that how we can find these coefficients. Okay, this is also sometimes called Fourier trig. Okay, this is easy. So we can find out the expression of cn from here. Okay, now this is just the time independent part, okay, that I have written there. So what is the complete solution? So the complete solution of one-dimensional potential well is, we must include the time dependent part also. Okay, so psi x comma t, psi n x comma t is what will be 12 sine n pi x over L. Now there will be e to the power minus I e t over h bar. Now we have to just substitute the value of En over here. From this expression we can see En, so this will be I n square pi squared h bar by 2ml square t. Okay, so there is some time dependent part also, we have to just substitute from there. Okay, so similarly, so any solution, so this is also a complete basis. Okay, so any solution, any arbitrary time dependent function which also satisfies actually the boundary condition of this wave function, this can also be written like function of n Cn root over 2 over L sine n pi over L x exponential minus I ENT over h bar. I'll just write ENT. Okay. Now let's try to normalize this equation. Okay, let's see what happens. This is a general solution which can be which has written in terms of on the basis of one-dimensional potential well. Okay, so let's try to normalize this equation. Let's see what happens. Okay, so normalization, what we'll do. Okay, let's so this will be okay, let's write it down somewhere else. Let's write it down here that capital psi xt is summation over NCn root over 2 over L sine n pi over L x exponential minus I ENT over h bar. Okay. So now let's try to normalize this. So normalization means we have to integrate it from 0 to L psi capital star xt psi x capital xt dx. This will be equal to m comma n. Let's take the summation over m comma n Cn 2 over L. Okay, there is also an integration. Okay, let's write down the integration first. 0 to L dx summation over m comma n Cn Cm. Okay, now this is same as this is the psi x, this is our psi n, so we just write psi n psi n star. This will be psi n star x and psi mx exponential minus I En minus Em t over h bar. Okay, now this will again, this is the orthonormality condition, so this will get m comma n cn cm delta mn, this is just the delta function, and exponential minus I en minus emt over h bar. Now the delta function, if we apply it, this will be 1, this will be sum over n. Okay, there is a star because there is a star. Okay, so this is Cn mod squared. Okay, so what we have found, if we just write it down, we have found that so mathematically what we have found that 0 to L psi capital x comma t mod square dx is summed over n cn squared, cn mod squared. Now what are the cn? Okay, the cn are just the coefficients. Okay, and by definition of normalization we can say that this whole thing is equal to 1, which means the summation over cn squared is equal to 1. Okay, so this is a probability density, and all the and by definition all the probabilities summed over should be equal to 1. So this is the probability of the nth state, which is in psi n. Okay, so the nth state in the psi n has the probability Cn mod squared. Okay, we'll discuss about an example. We'll discuss this fact about an example. Okay, so let's try out an example. So let's wipe it out. Let's write it down, psi bar x okay. So let's understand this with an example. Okay, so dx is sum over n cn mod squared. Okay, so let's take an example. Let's take this example that take the example that psi x comma 0 is 1 by root 6 psi 1 x plus I by 2 I over root 2 psi 2x plus one by root 3 psi 3x. So this is, let's say, a wave function is a linear combination of the first three states psi 1, psi 2 and psi 3 with their respective coefficient 1 by root 6, 1 I over root 2 and 1 by root 3. Okay, you can easily check that square of this and square of this is equal to 1. Okay, and so what is the probability that if a measurement of psi will give the energies of psi 1 is 1 over 6 squared, which means 1/6. So in this state psi 1 has a probability 1 over 6, this has half, and this is 1 by 3. Okay. So you can say let's calculate. We can easily check what is summed over Cn mod squared. It will be this will give us 1/6. This is 1/2 and this is 1/3. Okay, so this will be 3/6 and this will be 2/6 and 3 to 5/6. So this is 1. As I have said that earlier, that sum over all the probabilities should be equal to 1. Okay, the sum over all the probabilities should be equal to 1. Now if we try to find out that what is the average energy of this state, so the average energy, how can we found average energy? So the average energy is like sum over Pn and En of every. This is the standard definition of the average. You multiply each energy by its respective probability, you will get the average. Okay, so the probability for the first excited state is 1/6 with E1. The second state is 1/2 E2, and the third is 1/3 E3. Okay, so we can find out from here what is the probability. So let's take E1 means n equal to 1. Okay, and E2 means n squared, which means 4E1, and E3 means 9E1. So let's write it down. 1/6 E1 plus 1/2 E2 means 4E1, and 1/3 means 9E1. Okay, so 1/6 plus 2 plus 3E1, which means the average energy is 31/6 E1, which means 31/6 pi squared h bar squared over 2m L squared. So we have found the average energy of the state is 31/6 E1. Okay, so here I have given the initial wave function, the time independent initial wave function. Okay, so what will be if you are asked what is the time dependent part of it? What you have to do, you just have to multiply each term by its exponential time dependence. Okay, so what will be that? So we have to found that we can write it as psi x t is 1/√6 psi 1 e to the power minus I t1 t over h bar plus I/√2 psi 2 e to the power minus I e2 t over h bar plus 1/√3 psi 3 exponential minus I e3 t over h bar. Okay, so this is our time dependent wave function. Okay, so this is our initial wave function, which is given as a linear combination of psi 1 psi 2 and psi 3. Okay, we have seen that sum over all the probabilities is equal to 1. We have found the average energy, and also we have found the time dependent equation, a time dependent solution, which is nothing but we have to just multiply by the energy part, I mean the exponential time part with of each psi 1 psi 2 and psi 3. Okay, so I'll end up this class with a very interesting question, that what will happen if if you have to say, so what will happen? What will happen if you are given an energy which is not an eigen state, which is not an eigenvalue of the solution, okay, which is not an eigenvalue of the solution of Schrodinger equation for this, in this case, right, let's say this infinite potential well. I have given you, let's say I have given you this energy. I mean, is this possible to have something like that? That let's say if you have 0.81 pi squared h bar squared over 2 ml squared. So I mean, can you say that this is even possible? Okay, is this a possible solution of the Schrodinger equation for our infinite potential well? Okay, how can we verify that? Okay, so if we compare this equation with that, so from this we can say that n is 0.9, right? So n is 0.9. So the n is 0.9. So wave function corresponding to this energy would be psi of x is root over 2 over L sine 0.9 pi x over L. So this is our wave function. How we can verify that this is not a solution of the Schrodinger equation? Okay, let's suppose it is a solution. So what are the boundary condition it should satisfy? The boundary condition it should satisfy is that psi at 0 equal to 0, and also psi at L it should also be 0. Okay, so psi at 0, if you put 0, this is 0, so it's satisfied. But psi of L, if you put L here, you can say that see psi of L is root over 2 over L sine 0.9 pi, and this is certainly not equal to 0. Okay, so the way to verify is that given the energy, find out the wave function, corresponding wave function, okay, and see if the boundary condition is satisfied or not. If the boundary conditions are satisfied, this is a solution. If the boundary conditions are not satisfied, this is not a solution. This can't be a solution. Okay, so this equation can't be a solution. So only those eigenvalues, only those solutions are possible which are the eigenfunctions of the Schrodinger equation with given energy. Okay, so this is it for infinite potential well. Okay, so see you in the next class.